What is up, you guys? Oh man, sorry, I've had really bad technical difficulties tonight. I don't know if YouTube changed something, but they really, they really messed up my process, because apparently you used to just have a go live button, and now there's no such thing. You just hit the button and it goes live automatically. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I promise. Give me a couple months. This is gonna be legit. There wasn't a server. I know. I did. I thought I did one on the Discord. And Clash's Corner, I put, sorry for the live fail, Brew Crew, going live in like 5 minutes or so. I'd put that up in 9:12 Central. Well, either way, welcome. Hopefully this is working now, because, like I said, YouTube's really making my life difficult right now. It says it's public. We're in good shape. We got viewers. We got beer. We got stuff to talk about. Yeah, round one was a total fail. I literally had no idea. Normally you hit a button that says start streaming, and then you hit a button that says go live. And here, it didn't do that. It just said you're live. So anyway, you guys got a little sneak peek for a 3-second live stream that I didn't actually have. And yeah, now we're doing it. Now we're doing it for real. It's like, guys, all right. Sorry about that. This is gonna be probably a pretty short one, because we've got the Operation Metaverse coming in. Obviously they're going to be on about an hour, a little more than an hour. Just depends on how busy Jom is. I know he's got a trip he's taking tomorrow or something. So we will be here for a little bit. Is it echoey? Am I echoey? Golly. All right. This is the TM Fix Party. Tell me if you guys can't hear me. I'm gonna put some music on. Let's put some music on. Let's see what we got here. There we go. No echo. Got it. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, you guys know the drill. The first thing we're going to do for Crafts with Clash, we're going to talk about our craft beer tonight. We are drinking the 903 Cerveza Por Favor Mexican Lager. Guys, we're going to get into SWGOH in just a minute, but before we do that, we got to take a little bit of time to appreciate this lovely brew. Hello, Skywalker Vader. This is you guys are gonna catch me like you did the last time. This is only a 4% alcohol. I'm not gonna get hammered. I've got to be up at 6 a.m. for work, so there is no drunk clash going on tonight. But it's still nice to drink this Mexican lager. This is Mexican style, so it's a little bit sweeter. I had one yesterday just to kind of make sure I knew what I was talking about tonight. Got a lot of balance, little malt, little bitterness. Yes, it is going to be delicious. So everyone, cheers it up. Ah, man. Yeah, course correction is right. There's no way I was gonna let what happened last time happen again. I freaking tried to play my guitar. That's not, I haven't, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm not doing a stand-up night, open mic. There's no way. You guys can't pay me enough for that. So, we're gonna drink us a nice lower alcohol content beer tonight, and not put ourselves in any danger. All right, what am I doing here? Let's get this show on the road. I've danced around enough. You guys know how this works. We got a good bit of stuff to talk about, guys. Let me just look at what my agenda has for us. We're gonna do a quick GAC review from the first round. We're gonna do a quick Today I Learned. A couple cool things that I discovered that you might want to be aware of. I also want to go over just the turn meter and speed changes. Let's discuss that a little bit in detail, because the impacts are going to be pretty... They say there's not a big impact, but I think there's going to be some significant impact, especially once people start remodding for things. So, if you all hadn't seen it, I also just finally published the Luke on defense video, and that one, sorry it took so long to put that one out, but it's out now, and love to get some of your feedback on it. It seems like it's going pretty well so far. And then we're going to highlight Mr. Beans and Cheese. He has actually put a bunch of stuff together using his awesome Wedge, Swigs, Mom Mothma crew, and I'm excited to go over just a little bit of that footage, because some of it's pretty dang compelling. So, cheers one more time. Let's get into it. All right. Try to keep this live chat up so I can see what you guys are saying, what kind of noise you guys are saying. Okay. Did you rewatch your stream, Vader? I rewatched part of the stream and I said I gotta turn this off. This is getting real. This is getting Slurzatron. Yeah, Clash of Nerds 2.0. I don't know when I'm gonna be in Denver. That'll be a while, probably. Okay, so let's talk about Grand Arena. I know we're now almost we're past the halfway point for 3v3. I know a lot of you guys are feeling pretty good about it. I'm doing what I normally do. I usually come in right under Kyber, just because that's it's my MO. I don't like to overachieve. But let's see. Last round I had Mr. CC. This is the first opponent I've gotten that didn't have a freaking profile on SWGOH.gg. So I was going completely blind. He had both Galactic Legends. He was a little bit in a not fully maxed out on his SLK before. This is up to date. He only had 4 Zetas before today on this, and obviously doesn't have the ult, so that really helped me. But knowing that he was gonna probably put both of them on, I just had that feeling, right? They're gonna put both of them on defense, and I'm gonna be totally hosed if I don't figure out a way to stop them. So that's basically what I did. I went, whoa, Beans and Cheese. But okay, with interest. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the $10. That's a nice donation. I'm glad there's no tipping for drinking like in other streams you might see, because again, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be very good. I've got work very early, but for the time being, we'll definitely have some. Thank you. Maybe next time I'll take off a shoe or something too. All right, so let's look at this. Check it out, guys. Once it loads. Yeah. I figured he was gonna put both of them down. He was actually pretty smart, and he put his he split them up. That's a little bit risky, right? If I don't have enough to clear one of them, then I don't get to either side, right? Because I knew I was only gonna be able to clear one. But fortunately, I said I think difficult enough of a defense, and all of it matters right here, guys. This zone is like everything, because if you get this zone right and you make them waste a couple of battles, you can ruin their ability to full clear or even get to your ships. Because I think that's what I was able to do a few months ago, like back in December when we had the last round of 3v3. I talked to you guys about this craft right here. This is one of my favorites to pull out every now and then. I don't like to use it too much because I do like the versatility of Nest, obviously, and usually don't want to separate my my separatist droids. But yo, this is a good one because keep the socks on. This is a good one because of this little Zeta right here. This L3 Zeta basically means that you don't have a good option to attack. You're gonna attack Nest first. Well, that's a waste of time. You're gonna attack Grievous first. Okay, well, he's gonna keep clearing himself of debuffs, and then eventually, if you do kill him, L3 is just gonna come in and save him anyway with the Zeta. Or let's say you go through L3, then you can't land any debuffs on Ness because she's going to be cleaning. And by the way, she's going to be getting turn meter when any of them are hit. So she's still going to be getting a good enough clip on her turn meter that this probably will affect some of the things that we do with the new turn meter. So I'll be very interested to see how someone like L3 works, given how much that's how much she's very dependent on turn meter, and this bonus turn meter, this surplus turn meter, or whatever we're getting. It'll be very, very interesting. So that one is a good one. I'm really excited to see what they use. Typically, what I see people fail on with this is JKR. They think they can get through with JKR. They can't. And this time I changed it up. Normally I use Finn with the bros. I put JTR here just to give a little bit of a different look. And that looked like that tripped him up as well. And from there, that's where it all went downhill. He tried to come down here, tried to clear a bounty hunter team, and that wasted his time there. They're really, I don't know how we would have been able to get through any of the other of the rest of these. Luke, Mothma, CLS with Chupio and Kara, all very difficult. So he goes north and says, okay, well that was not something I should have done. So why don't I come up here? He clears out my Finn and my Han Chewie, clears out my Newt, and then guess what? I haven't seen this hold in forever, and I put it on, and maybe every, fifth battle that I have in 3v3, he hits that, and then he's like, I'm done, I'm out. So this node right here is just so important if you're setting up your defense to make your whole thing impervious. So I've got on offense, he did place his SLK. He put a really weird combo in there with GBA and Fox. So I just used my Ray on that. I just used L3. Vandor and Barris, and just ulted and whirlwinded and killed them all pretty easily. This was a pretty easy win with JKR. This I used Gas, and this I used Vader. I think. No. Yes, Vader. I put all of my GAC footage in the Scoundrel Discord in the same channel where I put these announcements. This one, I was an idiot. I used DR on it first. I don't know. I thought I could use DR but not use Malik, and that was a waste of time. So I went in with Kira. Actually, maybe I'll pull that. That's probably the most compelling footage I have is the Kira Han Chewie. It worked flawlessly. I stunned him first, got turn meter on Kira, chewed through him with my next attack. Then I used her prepared stagger, reduced the turn meter on Luke so he couldn't take a turn. Then I went after her. It just worked out really well. Now, if there was a really fast Hoda or really fast, something like a Shock T, I don't know if it'll work. But if you guys come across a Luke, Kira Han Chewie worked really, really well. Again, assuming they don't have a super fast Jedi in there. This one I actually did with EP, my own Malik, and Watt. And there's a tactic. I think we can go into the today I learned with this because these two things were really good today I learned. Let me get my get some footage up here. Show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Hang on. Because this one I think was this was probably the most fun I had. Even though I knew I wasn't gonna full clear. I was very happy with how I got through exactly what I was doing. Making the best use of your roster is always the hardest part. Okay, 1 second. All right, here it is. GAC. Let's pull this up. All right, so we're going through this. Let's get to the end here where I had to get creative. All right. Oh yeah, so I'll show you this one first because this one was pretty interesting. If you guys didn't know, I'm not a Sith person, so forgive me that maybe this is not news to you all. But again, something I learned, and I'm going to share it, damn it. I got to a Malik 1v1 here, and like, I don't know why I haven't played Malik like this before. Instead of going on auto and letting him waste his other moves, I just use basic, and it constantly applies the healing immunity. And maybe I'm missing something here, you guys tell me, but that's all it took. It just whittled him down one attack at a time, and I was able to get through it. And this was a Relic 7, mine's only a Relic 3, so I was relatively happy with that. That was something I did not expect for me to be, once I saw 1v1, I thought, man, he's going to take it down, but, you know, just going after him with that made my life a lot easier. Gonna make a guide on dismantling Ray 3v3 soon. Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Let me go back to this. All right, here we go. This is the one. No. All right. So I get into this, and I'm a little too fast. Here we go. So what the this played out pretty much how I thought it would in my brain. And again, I don't think it would work if you had Hoda or someone else in there. Went right after GK, kept going after him. That still gives her a ton of turn meter. Now I can reduce turn meter there, stagger him so he doesn't have a full thing, and then it was game over. He never took a turn. So if you guys are looking for a way, yeah, all the prot recovery is nice. 34 would have been nicer if I had 54 and I'd use that first and have my Darth Revan to, you know, do something with, but whatever. Hey, tell boy. What's up, man? All right. So that was all right. That seemed to work out pretty well. Those are the two things I learned on that, which I think was pretty nice. Let me give you the other two things I learned. Oh yeah. This is a good one. This is what an ADD's brain is like. You have to have a list everywhere. Otherwise, your life is just a mess. Okay. So, Prom and then Death, thank you for sharing this. I didn't realize they'd put this up, but can you guys see this? They now have stats that they put on SWGOH.gg, and what I'm curious about, I would find this very, very interesting, is if there would be a way for them to like blend the win-loss ratio of each of your opponents through the event to give you some sort of like a relative value number. Like battles per win, I get, you know, you take your wins, your losses divided by your holds and all that stuff. But I would think it'd be really cool if, and I guess you could go back and do it manually, right? Go back and look at each of the attacks and losses and wins versus your defense by your opponents and sort of blend them all together. But I feel like there'd be a really simple equation between all those data points to give you some form of a relative value. The only thing I think is a little bit misleading is that these losses all count as an individual loss from what I was told. Could be wrong. You guys tell me. But basically they're saying if it's like if I attack, like let's say I want to try that tactic with Rey where I go in with like a bunch of scrubby characters. Each one of those counts towards a loss towards my stats, which I don't think that's really a good way to look at it. I think it should be your first loss or maybe your first two losses. After that, I don't think it should really, I don't think it should factor in that way. So, oh, I know, I wish there was, so I think that is what's good about a lot of the bots that we have now, at least on Discord, confused. If you put them in there, especially like 3PO, if you run that, their name will immediately link to their GAC history, which is nice. But of course, you got to have like all the other stuff you normally have. So I found this to be very useful. I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, but I found it nice to know that it's there. So there's the other thing I learned. Oh, okay. Now this is another good one. I don't know if it's good. It could be useful in 3v3. Let me go to this. Did you know that if you have Chupio, and in 3v3, again, I'm sure some people know this, but in 3v3, if you stick him in the leader spot, like let's say you want to run like 3PO and make it something, you know, real interesting. Like since you're going, like maybe you want to go droids, you want to do BB-8 and C3PO. Okay, well, you get the full droid synergy, which is nice. You get all the turn meter, but Chupio actually counts himself for his stat bonuses for being a rebel leader. So I find that very interesting. Even though you're not going to get a leadership out of either of these two, you still get a benefit out of putting him in the leader slot. Did you? I don't know. I didn't test that. If you tested it and you didn't tell me, potato, it's the stuff I like to know. So maybe that'll be something to explore in a later round on defense. I find that mildly compelling. We've got some rebel synergy there with 3PO. You've got obviously all the droid synergy. A lot of taunting going on here. Attacks out of turn. A lot of turn meter loss. Decent amount of damage. He would be assisting 3PO. See, this is how we craft, guys. We just start putting all this stuff together. What do you think? You guys are being real quiet. A little too quiet. Okay, alright, so you guys mentioned it. Everyone knows it. I guess I didn't know it. You know? Been really busy. A lot of stuff going on. Also, I had to spend the last 30 minutes helping people figure out how to run a self-assign command. It's like... Oh, and then of course, 3PO decides that he just doesn't like doing his job every so often. Kind of boring. Not my fault. You don't go and read all the spam. We need like a dedicated. Oh, you saw it on the play. Fatal. All right, I'm gonna move past my disappointment with y'all that I didn't know this, and like apparently I'm just learning all this stuff late. You know, but I'm gonna move past it. Good to know. You guys have knowledge. Share it with me. I'm trying to share knowledge here. Okay. I am nice. All right. No, it didn't work. Okay. Let's talk the Luke video released today, and then let's talk the TM and speed gain changes, and then let's talk the wedge crafting that we're doing here. All right. You guys gotta keep me on point. Remember, Operation Metaverse is gonna be coming on in like an hour. And you guys have to shut me up so we can all stampede their fun. All right, let's see here. Okay. JKL with clones. I know I talked about this on like one stream like a bit ago, and it was a weird stop. It was like that first one or second one I did, and I was just as poorly ready for streaming as I was then. So oh, you know what happened? That was the night that my mic decided to turn me into Shaft, give me like a 2-octave baritone or bass voice. Really messed me up. So I just flew through it because I didn't think it was. I was too distracted. I couldn't tell what the hell's going on. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, I want to go through this just real quick because, you know, I think it's important for the sake of like how much work was done to get to make it really useful. I think probably a lot of you have seen the opening clip. Yeah, I know, it was sexy voice clash. The opening clip just demonstrates just how crazy this is. Using a Padme team, they didn't move for 20 seconds, and so it's one of the things that this team really brings. Is it just really is an A+ turn meter and speed type of team. And so, if you haven't watched the video, it's out there. It's my last one, but I wanted to walk through this part of it, because if I get motivated, shout out to IP Freely, yeah. If you want someone to keep you on point, you need a coast. Yeah, well, I mean, Vago's never gonna join me. He's like, no, man, I'm just, I'm out here in Hawaii, just kind of riding the waves, bro. I can't really do all that stuff. I just come up with cool counters, and I know. Get a co-host. Someone, maybe you, maybe one of you wants to join. I'm good with that. This is not just this can be other than just crafts with Clash. This can be crafts with anyone. All right. So I put this little chart in here. The co-host is mostly booze. Yeah, it's the booze is the anti. It's like the co-host that keeps me from being on track. And then you got another co-host that keeps you on track. It's kind of balancing in the middle. That's what I really need. Okay, so I want to run through this real quick. Well, I appreciate that. You're welcome. You guys are welcome to come on. This, we try to have a good time. We try to have fun. We try to drink some beer, but we also try to dig into the nuts and bolts. Try to learn something. So you might be wondering, well, after this thing, let's Fatal, what's your question? After this, maybe we put a little agenda together and we do some signups, because I still don't know what my cadence is gonna be on these things. Why wasn't it called Clash Course? Because I'm not witty. I'm not witty like that, but I love it. Maybe that'll be a new series. We'll do Clash Course. I don't know. That's a good one, man. I love puns. Puns are great. I didn't name this one a pun though. Normally I do punny names, like Great Expectations and all that stuff, but you have a gift, Fatal. That's a good one. All right. Now you guys are trying to distract me. Get back on point. These are the categories that make up how I assess a defense. I mean, I guess you could use them for offense as well, but I think you guys probably know I really enjoy defensive theory crafting because it's just more difficult to do. And it requires a lot more brain power, I think. So these are the categories. While I'm talking through this, Prime. While I'm talking through this, put in there if you think I'm missing something, right? I'm missing a category somewhere, right? And I'll explain what these are because they're kind of important. Turn meter and speed controls. That's anything that is both positive or negative on the turn meter side. So it's TMR, turn meter gain, speed changes, speed down, speed up, speed differentials. That's all that, right? Damage increases, that's everything. And these things can include the ability itself increasing damage of someone else's. It can be buff that it gives. It can be it does more to a certain faction or something else. There's a lot of the damage increases things, right? Enemy damage reduction, I think we kind of know what that means. Anything that just mitigates it a little bit more. Health and protection recovery, very straightforward. Dispels, meaning you get it off of the enemy, you take it away from the enemy. Cleanse, you take it off of your own team. And then we'll call it OP kit abilities, things that are very unique to a character that, for lack of a better term, just kind of can change the dynamic of the game. Like maybe Fracture is an easy OP kit ability. So I want to talk through what all that means. And you might also ask, well, how break health and protection system ratings? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you can do that. The only reason I lumped them together, Fatal, is that it is there are certain scenarios where they're just kind of all joined together, right? You know, and so I just felt for ease of use for the time being, put them together. But maybe I'll break them down. But you know, now let's actually look at what it means from like in a kit. Okay, so I don't know why this cut off the way it did, and sorry if it did, but every single character, you know, just pretend here. I'll fast forward to show you like a different character. These are all JKL abilities. I break them down. Okay, so like this one, Prevailing Strike, basic attack. Who's affected? What does it do? So, right, for his self, how does it affect himself? Well, he gains 10% protection, and it's up to a max of 100%. How does it affect the single target enemy? Well, it does physical damage, which is basic. Dispels all buffs, reduces critical damage by 10%. Cannot be countered or evaded, allows for crit through crit immunity. So there's just things that I note, and each one of these things I take into account for every single kit. His special attack, Stalwart Advance. Who's affected here? Single target enemy. Deal damage, call target ally to assist. It also blinds them. Now, with that, he gets a buff. He gets Jedi's Will. JKL and target Jedi ally, they get counter chance, offense, speed, increase, and again, each one of these colors correspond to the prior, you know, the prior colors we just looked at on that other grid. So my point is, I like to put all of these together for the entirety of every comp that I put in there, to see how much cross synergy I have, to see how much it solves the problems that I'm trying to solve, and how many problems it creates for the opponent whenever they actually you know, are trying to battle it, because you know, in essence, if I can give myself on average a B+ score for a defense, that means I'm likely to be giving myself a better chance to hold, which means it gives me a better chance to win more battles. Now, the one sort of overarching thing on top of this is, of course, modding. Modding is a huge part of the overall theorycraft in all of this. It lays on top of all of these things, and it affects all of these things differently. So you just kind of have to know, when we look at this is looking at it as a blank slate, and then we apply mods to you guys are going nuts. I apply mods and the impact they have on all these things after the fact. If that makes sense. And a lot of that is it's getting like really nerdy fun with Mon Mothma and all the stat sharing. I'll share with you some of that later. But anyway, point is, I hadn't seen a lot of JKL on defense, and so yeah, I just did this today, so you guys can tell it's brand new. This to me, maybe it's unconventional because you've only got one other Jedi there, but because she's got such strong synergy with these this trio, and they have such strong synergy with each other, and the speed differential is so important. This is really one that I think maybe for territory wars, or I've never worn pants on any of these things, but territory wars, or once we get back to 5v5, if you are going after Jedi Luke, or you have them already, I would say this might be one of those sneaky like, you know, JTR and the vets type of defenses. It's not going to be like a Clone Wars Chewie defense where it just kind of it sneaks up on you and you don't know why you lost. But it definitely is one where you might think you have a good counter, and then you misplay it. It causes a lot of really poor decision making because there's just so much going on, because they move so much compared to you. So anyway, again, if you haven't seen it already, I encourage you to take a look. if you like this type of defensive stuff. And just to give you an example, this is my favorite part of this. I highlighted in the video, but I often get people to say, oh well, if you'd have just played it this way, you'd have won. I'm like, oh yeah, if you'd have just played it that way, you'd have won. But guess what? Like the reason they didn't is because they maybe were rushing, or they weren't. It confused them in some way. There's a lot of psychology that goes into some of these things, that where people are. You may think you're making the right decision, and I'm guilty of it just like anyone else. Actually, that's one of the reasons I lost with my Darth Revan today. Is I freaking AoE'd against a team with Jedi Luke, and they all counterattacked him and killed him. So I'm like, oh man, I forgot I couldn't do that. It's easy to do whenever you're just, you know, you're doing your best to try to get through it. So I mean, this was beating Darth Revan, and this is my favorite, right? This guy, Altrios, is in my guild. He's like, no, I'll beat this easy. This is no problem. And guess what? He took him 5 times to get through it. He kept forgetting, well, if I stun Rex, why all of a sudden is Shock T going and giving, like, you know, why is that happening? You think, okay, well, he's stunned. Now Watt's gonna go, but look how much turn meter she's got compared to everyone else already. She's gonna go next, and guess what? She's gonna use Jedi's Will, and guess what? You're gonna be stuck at 170 speed or whatever he was at, and now you're hosed. Like, now you really can't do what you thought you were gonna do, because you pushed her past a really fast Darth Revan by going after Rex first. So, this is my point. There's a lot of really good defensive theory crafting that goes on out there, and to me, it's one of the more like underloved and underutilized parts of the game. I think everyone sort of likes to put the traditional stuff on defense and just maybe beat them with modding, and that's a big part of it. But I do think that there are a lot of hidden synergies out there that can be exploited, and 3v3 is one of the more fun ways to do that, in my opinion, because there's so many places you can go without a leader. Okay, time for a drink. I know it's not as strong as the other beers, but it's still got some bite, which is good. All right. Okay. There we go. Now we're back to this 3PO thing that I didn't realize. No one told me. You know, I really, really did it this time. Okay. Next up, what are you guys saying? Let me catch up on chat for a second. A lot of shirts off, a lot of pants off, general shenanigans. Might have to add TM overflow row depending on how impactful it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's good. Let's get into the turn meter business, because that was relatively big today. Yeah, yes. If you do face it at some point, you will hate it. It does suck. All right, let me find. Let's see. Let's pull this verbiage up. 39 GAC holds. Man, Cubs. See, that's what I love to hear. Like, I love whenever we can find some crazy off the wall, like, you know, obviously Relics changed the game, right? Relics brought a lot of benefit to some characters that were underloved before, and I had not a great Estihan before Relics. Once Relics came, I was like, that dude, right? And now that they've really, I think, done a better job of balancing some of those characters, those sort of mid-level characters, up into they can be used more meta than they used to, because they're a little bit more balanced. There's still a whole bunch of stuff at the bottom that doesn't matter if you got it Relic 7 or not. It's not going to really do much, but yeah. All right, let's pull up this turn meter, speed changes, and overflow. All right, let me move my big head. Where is this? Whoa. Oh, wait, am I moving this? All right. So let's see here. Follow Table Heroes. I'm not gonna do a full read through because I don't do that. Oh shoot, sorry. How's that? Is that better? All right. So here's a couple of the main things that I've been thinking about on this. Yeah, keep your questions coming because I wanna see if we can address some of these because we're gonna obviously do a lot of testing. My number one concern with this is overflow. Not that it exists. My concern is that we won't be able to see it. Like we don't see a lot of stuff that goes on. No, yeah. This is for the people, by the people, for the people. The fact that there's so many things that you still just can't see visually in the game, that's what really makes life hard whenever you're trying to like understand the effects on whether things are working as intended, if you can even accomplish what you want to accomplish. A very simple example, of course, is like, I don't know, turn meter in general. You don't know where they're actually at. Like, if I use young Han and I'm using him on offense, and someone's at 49% turn meter versus 51% turn meter, I don't know what there's no way to tell that. Sometimes they give you a little bit of a visual cue on just stats in general, like for example, like boss lead. You know, they'll show you, they'll flash, you know, who the weakest ally is, or no, I guess you get that with who the contract goes to. But there's one where, oh, you know, it's there's a healthiest ally and there's a weakest ally that'll flash up above the head of someone if you can choose, and it'll just tell you. But either way, like that's the problem I'm gonna have with overflow. Overflow is gonna be nice. There's someone's gonna be at 100%, another person can be at 100%. Unless you were watching it in slow motion, how are you gonna know who's now ahead in the turn meter game? Like that's the problem. I don't hate that it exists. I hate that we'll be blind to it, and so it will likely cause maybe some bad decisions. If you just are like a savant and you can know, hey, what the relative value, memorize all their stats and can run the relative value of where they're all at and where it's going to go, maybe, you know, sure, for those few people that can do that, great. But there's just so many things that affect turn meter, and knowing that there's so many times where, you know, you get a few characters at 100%, and now you have to think, okay, well, which of these three that are now at 100% are the ones that got the most overflow, that if they're tied have the most speed? Like, it's gonna be, it feels like it's just gonna make speed even more important, because you're just never gonna want to have to deal with losing a coin flip. So what are you guys saying here? It says, if it doesn't, I'm removing my Vader's mods. Bonus turns are overriding Merciless. If it doesn't, okay, so Geo Spy, it says it's supposed to stop while Merciless only blocks. So I wonder if that's what they mean by whenever they put that language into his his ability about it doesn't affect, it's not affected by things that affect other people's turns. If that's what they were preparing his kit for, knowing that this was coming, I think that's where my brain immediately goes, is to say, okay, if they knew they were eventually going to put this type of effect into the game during the next major title update, and yet they were going to be, changing his kit like they did, I'm guessing that Vader, even if he doesn't have the max amount of turn meter compared to someone else, he will still go first, and then it will just, wherever they're at, it won't matter. They can gain more overflow, they cannot if he hits them, but he's still going to go in that order, and then they can all go in their overflow order from there. With this change, with turn meter, will Han Solo shoot first? Will that be affected? Han Solo will still shoot first. However, a Han Solo versus Han Solo is still gonna, that should still be the same as well. I think that's because that's based on it's not a bonus turn, right? A bonus turn is something. This is something. Yeah, we did this. We did this before with Watt, and if I remember correctly, let me just look in the game real quick. For some reason, my brain is saying that with Han, his first turn doesn't count as a bonus turn, but even if it's written like that, let me look. The first time Han takes a bonus turn at the start of each encounter. During this turn, he ignores taunts and can only use his basic ability. So okay, so here's what I'm thinking. The order of operations is where this is now going to play effect, right? Because if it's a bonus turn meter on a unique, or if it's bonus turn meter based on a leadership ability, and if it's on offense or defense, I know I had written this down somewhere the other day, but I am guessing that is where that's going to apply. Yeah, I know the note 1 now says the units who have been granted bonus turn are now subject to the same rules, but they will take their turn before anyone who has not been granted a bonus turn. For multiple units with a bonus turn, the order is determined by the same criteria: highest overflow, highest speed, then randomly. So, what if I'm reading this correctly? Then it means that they are no longer going to use an order of operations like they have with Han and Watt right now. Because right now, Han shoots first. Doesn't matter. Against Watt, right? If he's on offense or defense, Han will shoot first. But where I'm interested now is, I guess what this is saying, a Han v Han will go to a speed first. Watt versus Watt will go to a speed first as well. And then if you've got both of them on the same team, it'll be a lot of bonus turns if we can have. We're gonna see how this goes. Ian, what's up, buddy? We're just, really digging into the minutia of this craziness. What I also don't like here, maybe this is just for a sense of completeness, y'all, but, okay, assume that each unit has the following current speed: 250, 200, 200, 225. Assume that each unit has the following turn meter: 100 overflow, 90, 30 overflow, 10, 98 here. CLS goes first, since he has the most turn meter overflow and now uses basic against Rex. It critically hits, which generates 15% turn meter for Rex and Echo. But his basic also can apply turn meter down, or it can reduce your turn meter. And not only that, it can apply a debuff. Hey, Miami Heat, beer it up, bro. If he applies a debuff, he's going to give turn meter to everyone else. I know they're doing this for the sake of simplicity, but there's a lot more things going on. And I know they say, this is my favorite line. Our internal testing showed this change had little impact on matchups, but we will be closely monitoring for any significant changes. Did they make an announcement? What time are they doing it? When is it at? All right, good. What time? They said 9. They said 10:30 earlier. So what do we got? 20 minutes. Ready to discuss revolutionary? Not kidding. Post made by the afternoon. All right. So yeah, they're going to talk about this too. All right. Well, I'll leave this where it's at. I think it would be some good conversation on their channel after this is done. But they told me 10:30. So yeah, let's leave this where it's at. I think there's still a lot of things we're going to have to test, but I do imagine this, our testing does not show little impact. Yeah, I think there's going to be some, I'm guessing that there's going to be some changes. There could be some significant changes that they might not have been aware of, so we shall see. It's at 11. Oh, so we got 50 minutes. All right, cool. And I'm glad you like the Luke and the clones, man. Yeah, it's Molten Steel and Sex Appeal. Go and grab a margarita and rejoin these candles, man. Margarita, that's like a Friday night drink. That's definitely not a Thursday night drink. No, sir. All right. Now, let's do some of this. Let's get into some of the wedge craft, because this, my friends, this is the hotness. Oh, just you wait. Let's watch some of this. Fix my screen. Move my giant head. Here we go. All right, I like this. I like this. So this is from Mr. Beans and Cheese. Thank you again for the donation earlier, Mr. Beans and Cheese. Appreciate it. This one is awesome. This is 3v3 he's been using. His Mothma is 3-star. He's got this R7 crew. Not 6E modded, but still, you know, looks like it's in good order. I don't know if that's the right mods. I don't know First Order very much. Jeremy, Thursday's your Saturday? Well, actually, I don't really have a weekend anymore, so every day is kind of a Monday for me, it feels like. But so he's gonna go grab his Gear 8 3-star Mon Mothma and then his badass Wigs combo and take on this relict crew team. And I mean, this could have gone sideways. Let's just be real. But just the amount of damage the Danger Bros put out here is insane. And I know Crew gets his like all that extra health and stuff, but and protection. I just feel like he ends up succumbing to the power, especially once you've got your 4th character out there. All right, now we're gonna go after Fox. She is going to be obviously doing a good job keeping everyone alive. Man, that's so good. Yeah, see that's the one downside of a 3-star Mon Mothma is that AoEs really don't help her out any bit. But you know, we're coming to the best part. Hang on. Come back to that. That was legit. Hey, Mr. Bent Over Kylo. Check it out. Like, I mean, did it even have defense down? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, defense down. So obviously defense down. The defense down. That really ruins things. Oops. Exit. Defense down. Let's see what it's. I think it like doubles or triples his damage. Hang on, let me look at this. Whatever it does, it turns him into a freaking one-shot animal. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, so Wedge on his basic, 50% more damage, target suffering, defense down. And that's why he could rock his world for 78k. Put him on his back. I love it. Alright. So that's one. Now let's look at some of those other... He's just got so many... Like, I love this. I mean, Beans and Cheese, thanks for putting all this together, because he's got so many random Wedge combos. Oh, this is a good one. This is Wedge versus Night Sister. This is in July, whenever we were in 5v5 mode. Just to give you guys an idea how good... I mean, he was ahead of the game with the relic Wigs Bros. Swimming and crit damage, and of course they get a lot of health recovery. I wish they gave him a protection recovery on some of that too, but with Mon Mothma, I think that really helps out. Oh, is it the one you lost, or is this the one you won, Beans and Cheese? Night Sister's Revenge. Is this the one where you had won one before this, and then this one you succumb to the power of plague? think this might be that one. Because the one before this was like, yeah, this one. I think he might have lost, but maybe not. If I didn't like it, it's probably if I didn't like it already, it's why. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the lost one. I mean, it's good to show it either way. Change my music. I think it's some new music in here. I've only got like 3 things loaded up. I'm surprised how durable they are. Like that's what I'm like even I just always imagine them as such paper, you know, such glass cannons, that the fact that they can withstand such damage and all that. I think it does help though too that, you know, his leadership gives such a good buff to healing, that if he crits, I mean, he's getting what, how much health steal on that? They can get rid of plague pretty easily. Yeah, that's no good. You revive him. I think there's just too many stuns. Yeah, this one's not gonna go your favor. Ugh. All right, well, it's good. This is how you learn. Now let's look at the. OM is live already? They said 11. All right, well, guys, we'll make this a quick one then. If they're going live already. Let's take a peek. I mean, let's take a peek. Oh, they are live. Guys, get over there. All right, y'all. This was fun. Thanks for getting into the weeds with me, getting a little nerdy. I'll do some more research and then we'll discuss it on the Discord, I'm sure. I will see you guys later.